and welcome to Patti Knits and Spins. I'm Patti. You can find me on Ravelry as Pattisand. There is a group, Patti Knits and Spins podcast, so please come and join me. Today is September 13th, 2014. This is episode 39, the week of organization. On today's show, I would like to talk to you about what's on and off my needles, some stitching, give you a little tour of my stitching corner, some polymer clay fun, some purchases, and whatever else crosses my mind. So, grab your beverage of choice. Today, mine is water. Your craft of choice, and let's chat. So, on the needles. On the needles this week is still my Truly patterned from Sensations, the pink and red striped socks. This is my 9th pair of striped socks for the Stockinette Zombies striping socks. Last week I was here. This week I finished a little bit more of the foot. I'm doing these on my Addy Sock Rockets, and they are a 2.25 millimeter or a size 1 US. And I have them living in my Hawaii bag. The second thing I'm working on is Wink, which is the worsted version of ink. And it is by Hannah. And if you look up Wink or Ink, you'll be able to find her. Her last name, I cannot spell it, and I do not want to butcher it. So I'll just tell you to look up Hannah, or look up Wink or Ink, because Ink is the stockinette version. I am using Beaver Slide Dry Goods in the worsted weight 2-ply. This is the charcoal colorway. Last time you saw it, I had this much done. So this week I added the rest of the right side collar and started the left side collar. So this is the back, and it'll sit in the back and drape down the sides. I am knitting these on a size 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter, and I am enjoying the knit. It's a lot of fun. So I do a repeat or 2 or 3 a night and just keep plowing away with that, and that'll be good. My needle adjacent is still sitting there waiting, and that is going to be the washcloth Knit Along with Smells Like Yarn podcast. If you haven't checked that podcast out, you should check out Ross. It's a great podcast. So, what have I finished? I finished Mr. Bakery Bear's pants. This is Rowan denim. I knit it on a size 1, 2.25 millimeter. For me, it was too short, or my bear may be too fat, because I had to go back and add some more ribbing to the top. In that, I used a size 2, 2.75. And then I took it and I sewed him in his pants too, so that his pants will stay up and he won't be showing anybody his bear bum. So, here he is, Mr. Bakery Bear. I haven't gone out to take pictures. I'm hoping to do that next week. The leaves are changing and falling. There's a lot of oranges and reds going on right now, and yeah, fall is here. Fall is here. And I'm not sure if I'm happy or sad about that, because we didn't have much of a summer this year at all. But Mr. Bakery Bear! The second thing that was off the needles this week is I was fortunate enough to be able to purchase a goodie bag from the first Kippin' It Real retreat. I didn't get to go to the retreat, but she did offer to sell some of her bags, so I was able to get one. And in that bag was Ba Yarn's t-shirt yarn, 100% cotton, in about 55 grams. And it had been sitting in my stash since then. I think it was like 2009 maybe. I'm not quite sure about the date, but it's been in my stash for quite a while. This week I bought an Ott lamp that has the 6 times magnifier on it, so it's pretty big. I mean, it's a big magnifier, and I'll show you when I do that little film of the craft over here. And I was really hoping that I would have enough to fold it over and be able to put it on the magnet or not the magnet, the magnifier. Jeez. So here we go. And no, it's not big enough, but it's good. It'll be a good trivet for the kitchen table. So that's what I will use. I knit this on a size 15 straight needle. It was not a pleasant knit. It's really hard to knit because it is cotton and it's t-shirt and it is thick. I mean, it's very, very, very thick. So I will not be going out and getting any more of this if they're still making it because I didn't like it. I don't mind knitting with regular cotton. That doesn't bother me. This bothered me. So if you don't like cotton, you will definitely not like this stuff because it's way too thick. So that is all for the yarn, or the knitting portion. So let's go on to the stitching portion. I finished the September block for the Once Upon a Time Mystery Stitch Along. So that is Rapunzel. I had thought about using the red metallic for her hair because I thought that would have turned out really good, but I almost think it would have been too much, so I just stayed with the color. I did one mod. There is one extra cloud in mine because I didn't want to do the flowers that were by the window. So they were like a hanging basket of flowers, and I didn't want to do that. So I just went ahead and put an extra cloud. So this is what the rest of it looks like. So here are all the fairy tales so far. 3 more months and then we will be done. I am not quite sure what I'm going to do with this yet. I do think I'm going to get it framed and probably put in the craft room. I am having a lot of fun. So if you see any of these that you like, you might want to check out the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery at big.bigcartel.com because they have got their autumn stuff out now, and there is a mystery autumn stitch along starting in the end of this month, I believe. So you should go check it out. The other things I did this week for stitching is I picked up a chatelaine by Martina Rosenberg. This is the Hawaii Garden Mandala. And this one I'm having issues with because I don't know how to take it from a PDF and blow it up enough and then be able to print it. So if anybody has any ideas for me how to do that, I am on a Windows 8.1. So if you know how I can do that, I would appreciate anyone telling me how, because I can't see the charts. They're too small. I can see them on the computer, but I can't cross them off on the computer. So I need to know how I can do that because I really, really want to do this pattern. But I probably won't do it for another 5 years because if you're going to kit it out through the website that sells it, it's $379 just for the kit, which is the silks, beads, and the crystals. So yeah, it's going to be a while before I even attempt to do that. I may start like buying once a month a chunk of it, just a little chunk at a time, because I can't afford the $379, but it's gorgeous. So yeah, it may stay in my stash forever, but at least it's mine. The other thing that's tying into stitching is I made some polymer clay canes and decided I would try my hand at doing needle minders. So I need to get some glue, so these aren't all the way finished, but here is one needle minder that I want to do. And here's another one. And this was my first attempt at polymer clay. It's a lot of fun, but I'm not going to pick it up as another one. I have just a little bit more polymer clay to use, and once I'm done with that, I'm probably going to be done. Here is one I thought was so much fun because I just kept blending and blending and blending it down to where I got that. Then I had just a little bit left, so I made myself a little bead. And then I made this one, which is 2 hearts and a flower and a star, and I just melded them together kind of. And it's almost too thick to be a needle minder, but I like it. I think it's cute. It looks like, I don't know, It just looks like a blob, but it was fun. So for stitching, that's it. So I'm going to pause here and show you my stitching area, because that is where I'm sitting right now, and I'd like to show you my organization of my stitching area. So hold on. I wanted to show you my stitching corner, so here we go. That is a gaming chair that my son and daughter-in-law gave me a couple of years ago. The things sticking up are speakers, so I can plug it into my computer and have sound behind me. The chair vibrates, and there's also a seat part, but I've put it towards the back because I don't like it, and it's very uncomfortable to sit on for a long period of time. So over here is where I stash my stitching supplies. As you see, my lap stand is there, and that is what I've been working on, that little purple fairy. That's as far as I've gotten. So I haven't been doing a lot on it, but I've been doing more since I set this up. And then go up, and in that green bag is all my extra hoops. And here is the light I was talking about. So there's the magnifier and the clip to hold. I put the code for the colors on there, and then that is the light. So it moves up and shines a whole bunch. And here, just kind of flash. That was that one is a free fairy. So I don't feel too bad about flashing that, but that was on Heaven and Earth Designs. And I have it on a bar stool so it can sit next to me. In the top shelf of that little container is extra boxes and floss, and I have highlighters and needles and just all sorts of different things. In the second box are my kits. That most of them are like the dimension kits and things, but I also do have my 2 Heaven and Earth designs that are all, or no, 1 Heaven and Earth design is kitted up in there, and the Mirabella is kitted up in there. And on the bottom, of course, is yarn. So, in the other side of this, I'll lift you up a little bit, is the rest of the room here. And those are my knitting bags and my wash that I have, my hand wash that I have to do. And then my loom. And the other stitching container is there. And that black is empty, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. And then I'll go back up. And that is a cooler that also goes into a footstool. I love it. When we go out knitting out in public, I like to take that because I can put my projects inside, sit down and put my feet up. It's wonderful. So I'll step back a little bit here. And here are my knitting books. And a whole bunch of odds and ends up there. Mrs. Beasley. Mrs. Beasley! And my printer. And magazines. And more books and yarn. And then down there's the finished projects. Plus more knitting bags. And then I can spin over here. And that's what you see on the other side of me. I use the music stand to set my computer up to watch movies, and I also use it to hold the iPad while I'm recording. So there is yarn, 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 yarn in there. And of course there is the big armoire with the yarn. And up there is the fiber, the hand spun, and all the cute little animals. I have not put my 2 things of fiber away yet. I need to do that. And that curtain my son broke a long time ago. I just haven't gotten back to it. Those are 3 pieces of my stained glass that I did several years ago, and a painting I painted several years ago. And there is another chair. Sorry. And we'll spin around. And here is the treadmill. There is a piece of stained glass that I won at the dog I won. The other pieces I made. The Dodgers my son drew. The face my eldest made. And that glass up at the very top, my husband and I went to Seattle when we were first married, and that came home with us. painting is by Matt Moberly. He's a famous watercolorist here in Fairbanks. And the two embroideries pictures are the ones my grandmother made and gave me. And then we have to have the lava lamp, because yes, I am a child of the 60s. That jar next to it is sock weight, waiting to become a blanket. And then I have my spindles. And then in there is just a hodgepodge of beads and paper and all that, puzzles and things like that in that. And then go back this way a little bit is my basket with my blending board and the fibers I'm going to use, my guitar that I still have not learned how to use yet, and the little traveler that is leaving my home in October. I have sold her. And I'm happy because the person who bought it is going to enjoy it. She's already used it and she said she liked it, so it's very nice. And then underneath there is another basket, and that has all my joy stuff in it. So, I hope you have enjoyed the tour of my craft room and some of my organization tips. My other organization tip is, in that brown box is all my straight needles and all the needles I don't use right now. So they're all in one place where I know where they're at and I can get them at any time. I did not show you above the closet, so we'll go back around to that, because I do have stuff up there too. I have a sewing machine, I have my fiber fill, I have my blocking boards. In the purple container I put the Alice and Snow White. It's all ready to go, I just need to start it. Then that box next to it has all other finished projects in it. And there's a lamp up there, and in that green box is fabric. And that other box has all the stuff for my Kromsky loom. There we go. The word escaped me. I hate when that happens. So, I hope that you have enjoyed the tour, and stay tuned for part 2. Bye, guys. Alice and Snow White before and after. That took a long time. So now we're on purchases. This week I went into the world and went a little crazy. I have been loving Captain Tight Pants ever since I've seen it. So I have some Captain Tight Pants in Superwash Blueface Leicester. Look at that, it's so pretty. I absolutely, look at that blue right there. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love it. Hopefully you guys can see it and the light's not shining off of it too much. I will be inserting pictures of this then. And then I saw Bazinga! And Bazinga is in, let's see, 85 Pullworth, 15 silk. I love that yellow. That pop of yellow is fantastic. So, Bazinga. So these will be going on the wheel in a little while. Might be actually a long while, but it'll be soon, hopefully. So I think that's about all I have for you this week. The organization, hopefully you saw that in the video, because I haven't shot it yet, so I'm going to shoot it after this. And I hope that you all have a really great week. And whatever you craft, I hope you craft it to your heart's content. See you guys later. Bye. Show notes can be found at pattyknitsandspins.blogspot.com. See you guys next week. Bye.